Ladies and gentlemen, a record has been set. Ever since Saturday the 5th, I have watched 16 different movies in the span of 14 days. That is truly a record. And it finally ends, it concludes with Gamera the Brave from 2006. A young boy in a peaceful seaside town gets more than he bargained for when he takes home a mysterious egg. When it hatches, out comes a baby turtle that grows into a new version of Gamera. But will it become powerful enough in time to defeat a rampaging monster named Zetus? The most recent Gamera film to date, director Ryuta Tasaki's reboot, is a heartwarming mix of family-friendly adventure and cutting-edge kaiju action that marries the technological innovations of later films with the childlike wonder of the original series. This is how do I feel about it? This one is fine. This movie is fine for what it is. It is a movie for children that kind of one can teach children about life and death in a superficial but good way that does not insult their intelligence, because it deals with the death of the with the child's mother here, Tara, I think the kid's name is, and how he's trying to move on from that, and the father is doing what he can to survive, but when he's drinking with a buddy, saying you can't exactly repair a father-son relationship instantly, especially when he's being working a lot, so that's there. That's one of the motifs that an adult can extract some info from and give it a thought, and then of course there's the child who's just still thinking about everything. He's got his friends and everything, and when he discovers the turtle, it's like, okay, I can see how they can I guess cope with what's going on, but get a new chance of dealing with stuff. And it works pretty well. This movie is, like I said, it's meant for children, but at the same time, it takes some of the, like I said, the technological innovations and the special effects that were going on in the three previous movies and applies it here, but not in a way that it's so violent that it's PG-13 rated. It's like smart. What do they have it here as? Like a smart PG, smart parental guidance, I would say. That would be the best way how to describe it. It's like, let's take some of the what's the word? Miniatures, but at the same time, let's have it focused on the kid's perspective. And I can say that the child actors here are so dang good. Excuse me, because it's 2005. It's like 2005 when this was filmed. It's like, let's make this a personal story. Let's focus on the kid and actually have this be more subdued, I guess is the word. Not bombastic, not kitschy, not elaborate set designs taking place in a giant spaceship or a submersible or a bathysphere. Instead, let's just actually focus on here in a more contemporary setting. 2000s modernism? I guess, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, focus on this more personal story that works well, that is evenly paced, of the turtle growing in massive, massive size. Let's just make it feel like, hey, let's actually see this kid have a relationship with his father, and it works. It feels natural, the chemistry between the two actors that were there. I like it. You could actually feel like they were trying to augment their relationship. That's the way how to describe it, because he's still trying to be a dad, and it's like he's kind of got to punish his kid for running off. You're like, don't you do that, because they're trying to deliver this stone or whatever it is to Gamera, who can help defeat this angry iguana. Yeah, it had the little kind of thing like that. I'm like, okay then. It's like, let's have a giant Tyrannosaurus iguana as a monster. So, yeah. Eventually, they, in order to help deliver this opal or whatever it is, they have a whole bunch of children perform a 2,000 meter relay. I'm like, this is really weird. It's like having a slowing. It's like when they're getting towards like a climax, all these children are performing a relay. There's a slowdown going on of all the people running. Then when they're focusing on the children running, I'm like, that was odd. I don't know. It was just an odd scene, and it just was a little interesting. And then there was, I guess, kind of a funny scene where these kids were going to cross a scene or whatever. They're coming out with slow mo, kind of looking BA, badass. Like this is the roll calls. Like, yeah, we're going to be going and go and get this opal. We're going to deliver it to Gamera, man. I don't know. It's just like when those tanks come out and attack a legion. It was just interesting. It was interesting. I'll say that. I don't know. Yeah. So overall, this movie, it is good. This is one you could probably show, like, there is some blood, but it's not like excessive or anything. It's like you could probably show this to a 10-year-old, I would say. Yeah. There's a couple of references I noticed. There's one that was to Giron, this little knifey mother effer right here. That the knife almost went straight towards the baby Gamera, and there's also when the Tyrannosaurus iguana had a tongue. Barugan right there. I like those references. References didn't get in the way. It's like it's fan service. It's like fan service to those who like the Showa era before it went stupid. So yeah, overall, this is a good movie. Some trivia, like I said, there was some trivia there. As a result of the increasing ferocity of the Heisei movies, it's like it divided critics, and it divided critics in Japan versus it's like all the tokusatsu purists loved it, but those who wanted to see it as like, hey, this is children's entertainment, they felt very divisive. And it's like some people felt that the female representation and the child representation was very low, and they didn't really attend the theaters, despite the fact they had Steven Seagal's daughter. They had the what was that? Another actress in the third one, and the animal behavior scientist or whatever. I'm like, you got some dang good representation, but at the same time, yeah, it's freaking fantastic here in the States. Or if you probably ask people in Japan, they're like, yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. So ultimately, Noriaki Yasawa said, yeah, this isn't really a Gamera movie, and even just like some of the crew who worked on it, I'm like, dang, that's hot. So, dang, that is one heck of a hot take. So ultimately, some of the, like I said, all plans were canceled, but eventually it's like, okay, let's not have any more competition with Toho, because they're going to have like a proposed crossover in 2000 about the death of one of the directors in Kadokawa Dai passed on, and just led to nothing happening. Ultimately, they got the green light to like saying, hey, have a prequel or a side story to the Heisei trilogy. So ultimately, let's just have it return to the roots, but have the technological stuff going on with the three right 90s movies, but put it in a new contextual modern frame that demands more performance from the children rather than just them always shouting Gamera, Gamera, Gamera. So I will say that was nice to see. But yeah, ultimately, I think that this was a fine movie, but Gamera needed a rest because it's like I would rather have 3 truly epic movies than one return to form movie that's good, very passable that you could watch, rather than just complete garbage. So, yeah, the anime series is pretty good for what it is. I saw some choppy animation. It's like, hey, I watched all 12 Gamera movies. I like this here. I really, really do. So yeah, 12 movies. Dang, that is a lot. How do I feel about seeing this? I think that as I've compared the MCU here versus the DCCU here, States, Japan had Gamera versus Godzilla. Godzilla through all the ups and downs of the Showa era and 80s and 90s Heisei era was the MCU, but eventually the DCCU came in with a kind of wimpy in the beginning and then just a massive freaking explosion of awesomeness, you know. And ultimately, it's like we still have all the stuff going on, but I think that should there be an American blockbuster Gamera? I personally say no, because not too many people know about Gamera. It would be cool to see, but just stick to the anime and the Japanese movies. I'd say maybe like a crossover with a superhero and have Gamera in there. That'd be cool, but I don't really want to see a blockbuster, man. I'm actually against it. So yeah, I'm not against it. I just don't know how it would translate well. But anyway, so all these movies, and you're wondering about this set right here. I bought a very similar set at a Kroger's. I'm sorry, it came in Ann Arbor in 2014 when I was going through a lot of personal stuff, and this was a very nice way to help me get prepared for Godzilla 2014. In addition to all the Godzilla movies, that was a true struggle, but that's a story for another time. So anyway, how would I rank all these movies? That's a good question. So, dead last, outside of the Kinnikuman and Super Sentai reference, Gamera Super Monster, dead last, and then Gamera versus Zigra. That one was bad. Gamera versus Giron would come next, and then Gamera versus Jiger would be after that. Gamera, I would say Gamera versus Virus would, despite the stock footage, at least the sets and monster was interesting. I would say probably the giant monster is fine. I guess is when it starts getting okay. This movie's okay. It's not portraying anything else other than to be. This one's not portraying to be anything else other than a giant monster movie. Okay. And then we get into Gamera versus Gyaos, which features his only villain, which it's fun, but I personally like this one of the original series, the original one the most because of the human drama, and Barugan is in here. And then in the 90s, I would go with Gamera the Brave, which it's alright. Like I said, it's pretty good. And then, which one of the three? Attack of Legion is probably the weakest of the three, which that's like saying that's the least successful Beatles George Harrison's. Well, that's, yeah. But you really can't argue with these three right here. This is freaking phenomenal trilogy. So, yeah. Of course, I've also been and I'm sure you can probably understand what I'm about to say next. You're wondering, yeah, what's up next for me? Well, there are some other franchises that need to be reviewed that deserve my attention, and I would personally think that because I haven't watched some of the Gojira movies in over a decade, those would need to be worth a watch. And the other character who's had the most consistency is James Bond, and also because the DCCU exists, all that will be watched within time. So yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel. There's also going to be a short dedicated to this, but yeah, if you can, seek it out. Get yourself some. Yeah, get yourself Gamera. Watch the stuff. Trust me, you will not be disappointed, especially by the 90s trilogy.